Victor Wembenyama is doing his happy dance right now because as a rookie, he was one of the most dominant players in the league, and that was with Trey Jones and Jeremy Sohan as his point guards. Now he gets one of the best point guards of all time and a nice young rookie that he can develop with for the next 10 years, and I think he's going to have a breakout year. The Spurs were very active in the draft, not only bringing in Stephon Castle, who they get as their point guard of the future, a guy at like 20 years old that can be there for the next 10-15 years. They trade the rights to Rob Dillingham at 8 for 2 picks. They basically traded for 2 6th graders. But these are actually really smart moves because they have draft capital in the upcoming years, and in 7 years, you never know what's going to happen. There's only less than half of the NBA has one player that's been on the team for more than 7 years. So that Timberwolves team will be completely different. But looking at Stephon Castle right now, he's 6'6", 215 pounds with a 6'9" wingspan, and it's clear that the Spurs got their guy and then traded out to get valuable picks on down the line. 11.1 points per game, 4.7 rebounds, 2.9 assists in 27 minutes per game this year at UConn. Really solid player and a whole lot of potential. He's got a very natural passing abilities. He's a natural point guard. They had to play him out of position at college, played him at the 2 alongside of Tristan Newton, but as you can see here, he makes the correct reads and he makes them very fast, and he's better as a point guard than as a shooting guard, so I think that will automatically make him a little bit better. Throwing it into Wembenyama, he's already got experience throwing it in to a post in Donovan Clingan in college. Now he's got Wembenyama, and you can just see the natural point guard ability there. He's definitely a project shooter. Only shot 27% from 3 this year in college at UConn on 2.2 attempts, but he did have a massive game late in the tournament, which really, I believe it was his Alabama game, where he really just skyrocketed his draft stock. 76% shooting from the free throw line, so the mechanics are not bad. He's a little bit of a left thumber though. Great potential long-term point of attack defender. He's going to be a nightmare on the ball. The defense for this team in a few years can be very scary as long as they continue to make the correct picks. They have all of the Atlanta Hawks picks down the line, so it's looking really good. Now, the starting point guard for this year, I think, should be Chris Paul, the point guard himself. He is going to make Victor Wembenyama so much better. We've seen him take on developmental projects like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who turns out to be an MVP candidate just 3 or 4 years down the line. And, he's made Clint Capella. He's made guys like that into all-stars. The Victor Wembenyama, Chris Paul connection is going to be fantastic next year. And like I said, DeAndre Ayton, Clint Capella, he has made them look twice as good as they are as their point guard, feeding them the rock down low. 44% shooting from the field, 37% from 3 and 3.6 attempts, and he will be 39. So we're not obviously expecting prime Chris Paul here, but we are expecting a floor general that will be able to share the rock and can really accelerate Victor Wembenyama's timeline. Now, let's not act like Victor Wembenyama is this raw, undeveloped rookie. This is a crazy picture, by the way. But last year, he was really good. Next year, he should be an MVP candidate. I think he might be a top 5 player in the league in his second year. It is not crazy to say that. That is not a hot take. He should have won Defensive Player of the Year this year. He's already the best defensive player in the league, and he's a 7'5" demigod that, barring injuries, will be a top 5 player in the NBA next year and may just drag the Spurs to the play-in game by himself. Putting up 21.4 points, 10.6 rebounds, 3.9 assists per game, and 3.6 blocks. Here he is, making the 3-time NBA MVP and a consensus top 10 center of all time look like a child. 47% shooting from the field, 33% from 3. Those numbers are only going to increase as his career goes on. He's going to be 21 years old next year. That is crazy. We are looking at an all-time great NBA legend, barring injuries. Pray that he does not get hurt. But yeah, Victor Wembenyama is going to be something special next year with his new point guards. With that being said, let's go ahead and take a break here. Make sure to like button, leave me a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button if you are enjoying today's video at any point. As you can see here, a large majority of the people that watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel, so if that is you, go ahead and fix that. We're on the grind to 20K now. Be greatly appreciated if we can get that subscription, and then also trying to hit about 200 likes on today's video. With that being said, let's go ahead and continue on. Looking at the Spurs' current outlook, they're about $51 million under the first apron, and they can go out and get some guys. I think Luke Kennard would be really nice on this team. Obviously not as good of a defender as like a Gary Trent Jr., but 45% from the three-point line on 6 attempts per game. Also averaged 11 points would be very nice. Gary Trent Jr., like we said, great defender. He and Stephon Castle next year would be fantastic. 13.7 points a game for him. On 39% shooting from 3 for 6 attempts. The rest of the roster, though, definitely could use some work. This is by no means a finished roster. I said maybe Wemby can drag them to the play-in, But if this is the starting lineup next year, that's cool. You got some shooting. Devin Vassell, very, very nice third option. Well, he'll probably be the second option next year. I really like Vassell, but the bench is just questionable. Yes, I think Stephon Castle comes off the bench year one. Keldon Johnson's a question mark. Zach Collins is a question mark. Branham is not very efficient. But like we said, they do have an elite wing and elite duo partner for Victor Wembenyama. The three-point shot is still suspect, but think about this lineup in about 3 years. Think about the clamps, especially if Stephon Castle develops a jump shot. That big three would be nasty on both sides of the ball. But Devin Vassell averaged 19.5 points per game, 4.1 rebounds, 3.8 assists, and 1.1 steals per game this year in what was kind of a down year for him shooting-wise. His field goal percentage went up, but his three-point percentage went down 2 points on 6.6 attempts per game. So hopefully that will bounce back next year. But again, he's going to be 24 years old next year. Still so young. But like I said, we need that three-point percentage to go up for him to be, a consistent, long-term option for this team. But he's already a great defender on the wing, good scorer, 20-point per game guy. Now, will Jeremy Sochan continue to start? He's a great defender, obviously. He averaged 11.6 points per game, 6.4 rebounds, 3.9 assists in 29 minutes a game. And I put him on the bench in my last Spurs video, and there was outrage in the comment section. But he will be 21 years old next year. He's the same age as Wembenyama, so going forward, they can develop together. If we can get him any sort of an offensive bag, it would be very nice. We know not to play him at point guard anymore, though. That was a bad result. It was a decent idea, but a bad result. Now, will these guys be the odd men out? Will there be trades? I like Tre Jones in San Antonio. Don't get it twisted. But with Chris Paul and Stephon Castle coming in, he now becomes the third point guard on this roster. Last year, he was very good. He averaged 10 points per game, 3.8 rebounds, 6.2 assists in 27 minutes, and was one of the better players on this Spurs roster. Yes, he's undersized, but long-term can be a great backup point guard option, like we see his brother Tyus being. He can't shoot it like his brother, but he's 51% from the field as a 25-year-old, and maybe we see the Spurs run some Indiana Pacers-style lineups with, they got Halliburton, they got TJ McConnell, and they got Andrew Nembhard, 3-point guards that they can all play at the same time. We'll see how that works out. They also have Keldon Johnson, who I wouldn't be shocked to see traded. He's got the biggest contract on the team, apart from the Vassell extension. 15.7 points per game, 5.5 rebounds, 2.8 assists in 30 minutes per game last year. And that, on the surface doesn't look bad, but he only shot at 45% from the field, 35% from three on 5.5 attempts. Maybe they keep him another year. But I'd say this is probably the last year of the Keldon Johnson experiment if he does not get that efficiency up, if they don't trade him this offseason. Now, like I said earlier, there are some obvious holes on this roster. The top six is solid, and like I said, I think they keep Tre Jones around for a while. Sochan, great defender. You give him 2 or 3 more years to bring that offensive game up. Stephon Castle, same thing, great defender. You're going to give him 2 or 3 years to develop that offensive game. Malachi Branham, we'll see what happens with him. Hopefully, he can be the volume scorer they were hoping for when they drafted him. Zach Collins, Keldon Johnson, we'll see what happens with them. They're kind of, iffy. I don't know about that, but they definitely need more depth. They need some guys in the front court. A stretch four would be nice. Maybe another backup post, a couple wings. They're good at point guard. That's really the only position they're good at. And then, some depth elsewhere. Don't know how much longer Pop's going to be coaching for, so I'd imagine they're going to be trying to win some games now. With that being said, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like button and hit that subscribe button if you did enjoy today's video at any point. Like I said, we're trying to hit 200 likes on today's video. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching today's video.